Hello and welcome to the podcast of the Prison Officers Association, the UK's largest professional union for prison, correctional and secure psychiatric workers with 33,000 members. In this episode, we take a look behind the scenes at POA headquarters and talk to some of the union staff who keep the show on the road, ensuring union negotiators have the best and most up-to-date information, helping the NEC and senior full-time officers meet their many and sometimes conflicting commitments, and dealing with queries from members and local reps. One thing is clear: no 2 days are the same, and the HQ staff wouldn't have it any other way. Let's start with Angela Sinclair. As you'll hear, the POA has been a big part of her life, and there is not much she hasn't seen in a long and distinguished career.
Right. My name is Angela Sinclair. I've worked for the POA for 43 years. My job role is I'm a senior office administrator for the union. I am the support staff line manager as well. I deal with conferences and events, and I have a role with the admin support for our Northern Ireland colleagues as well at the
My,
moment.
my goodness. So what attracted you all those years ago to working for the union?
My dad was a shop steward in the local factory. And he said, I've got two jobs. I've got one at Ford, which is a local satellite factory that did packed parts local to me. I got that job and I got this one. And he said, you take that trade union job, you'll have it for life. And he wasn't far wrong.
Wise advice. Why?
Yes,
Why? Wise advice. So what? I mean, with that range of responsibilities, my goodness. So what's an average week like for you?
very busy, but interesting, sometimes challenging. Yeah, it can vary. I come in and I've got things to do on my desk, and it's like, yeah, when am I going to get time to do that? But I do fit it in, or it's interesting. As I said, I was only joking with this, but it's a very interesting job. I do like talking to the members in the main, trying to help them out. It's comforting when they thank you for something, or you're pointing them in the right direction for good advice, basically. So I like doing that. Conference and events, I travel a lot. I go to Linden House to look after the staff there as well. Yeah, so it is interesting. It's very varied. No 2 days are the same ever.
I bet, and I suppose the job you came into the union doing 43 years ago is probably not the job you're doing now. So
No, I came in as an office junior straight from school. As an office junior, hoping to just get 6 months experience in an office. But I've had loads of training. They've sent me on courses and different things, and I've learned a lot, and it's been really good, really good.
if I was to ask you what you felt were the best things about the job, is it the variety, even though sometimes it can be absolutely manic?
Yeah, it's a variety and speaking to the members because I think that's our fundamental service. As long as we provide a good service to them, I'm happy. And obviously the NEC as well because they're mobile and they need things doing immediately, like their IT. If that's all broken, that has to be fixed quite speed because they just need all that just in case something kicks off at a prison. They're available to communicate, and that's the main function is for them to be able to communicate to the members.
If you weren't there, you'd need about 6 people to replace you.
Well, I think that's in most people's jobs now since COVID. I think a lot of trade unions with IT, because it is a service based, we perform a service to the members,
Yeah.
and most trade unions do. And I think you can do a lot of it on IT. Sometimes it's a good thing because you can get work done quickly. I remember coming in to piles of paper, letters, mountains of letters that you have to type through and get through and whatever. But now it's emails. So it takes literally seconds to do a response, whereas a letter would take you 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a good thing in a way, but then you become you get email anxiety because you need to clear the emails instead of paper. So it's just shifted along really, and it is a better system, especially for us. You can monitor things, and there's a paper trail as well, so it's really good.
And if you look back over that long period of time, is there one thing that you've done that you've been particularly proud of?
In getting this job, because I wanted to make a difference, because when I came, I was the only person of colour.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, when
Yeah,
I
yeah.
came in here, I was the only person of colour, and it was very, very male orientated. And it's good to see that we've got a diverse workforce and we've got women on the NEC. So I'm heavily involved with the women. I do the women's event with Jackie Marshall,
Yeah.
Sarah, and Angela, and I really enjoy that. And just learning about what issues women face in the prison. You know, you're never too old to learn anything, but I learned so much from those workshops, and it's made me get a better understanding of how females fit into workplaces. So I think that's the main, and I hope we get the racial committee going as well. I'd like to see that before I go, and then I think it ticks all the way.
So, very, very last question then, and then I'll let you go, which is if, as a 16-year-old, you had, say, hand delivered your job application to the union, and you met that 16-year-old now, what advice would you give her?
It's the best job in the world. Stick with it. You never know what you there's because I've had my whole life here and I'm not doing too badly,
You're
to be honest
certainly
with
not.
you. So, so I would say stick with it. You will have challenging times, but you get challenging times in most jobs. But I've learned I've learned about the whole world in this job, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. People, about about everything. I've learnt lots. So I hope I've made a difference to my staff that I look after, and I hope I've made a difference to the POA.
It's to the world of finance we turn next. Paula Larwell runs Angela close when it comes to years of service to the union, but her responsibilities are both distinct and important.
My name is Paula Larwill. I work in the finance and accounts department for POA. I am 38 years in May. So 37 years, 38 years in May. So straight from school. That obviously does age me, doesn't it?
Not in the slightest. Not in the
Yeah.
slightest. So, what first attracted you to work at the POA, and what was the first job you did when you joined the union?
I started as a junior. It was more my dad saying while I was still in sixth form, you know, you need to go and get a job. And I applied for a couple, got a couple of interviews, got obviously accepted for this. I can remember my first day walking over the road because we still had a telephone box on the corner of the road opposite and phoning my dad to say, I don't think I'm gonna last here. And 38 years later or 30, yeah, I'm still here and I love it. I love POA. I think just looking for a job, I wanted to do sort of some form of secretarial, or that's what I'd done in sixth form. I'd done office course, and that's what I wanted to do. So didn't know much about, I mean, my dad sort of, oh yeah, no, they're prison officers, and he knew a little bit where the building was and all of that. And yeah, I think just at that stage, I would have stayed at school forever, but yeah, I it was him pushing me to go and get a job. I work very well and closely with Steve as the general secretary. I am very lucky that I am allowed to sort of mainly get on with the day-to-day business. Yeah, and I enjoy it. I like what I do.
What was your journey like in terms of coming in as an office junior and ending up in a very particular role?
So I started as a junior and started basically doing all those first jobs as a junior. I then went into membership when we were still the old check-off system of so paper, you know, records being provided by prison service and us not having that control. I went into legal for a little while. I'd done various sort of positions. I used to be National Chair's secretary, and along with my colleague, she was the General Secretary's secretary, and together we sort of took on the finance role when we lost somebody in that department.
Mm.
So we just sort of decided that we would try and see whether we could do it within our sort of day. It then got to a position, I think, where somebody suggested, well, really, one of you should be doing
Mm,
finance and one of you should just do the secretary. And that's basically what happened. I went into the finance side of
right,
things.
right. So what's an average week like in your role with the
Oh, it
union?
can be anything really. I mean, it sort of follows a little bit of a bit of a groundhog day because it's always the same things every month
Yeah.
of posting all the invoices, posting all the NEC expenses, then making the payment, doing that side of things, reconciling the banks to make sure that they're all sort of up to date. There can be other bits that are involved that mainly might not be quite finance, but they sit within my area. Things like claiming the gift aid, making the welfare payments, just speaking or emailing, speaking to branch officials about their each branch has a bank account, so I try and help with those expenses for branch officials or members that are doing anything. No day is really ever I can get up and think, right, I'm going to do that today. And then something else will come along and I end up getting involved with that. I think POA prides itself on being very good at paying people. We never sort of really have anybody chasing us too much unless it's something that's gone astray. We sort of pride ourselves if we have a death of a member, we pride ourselves that, if that information comes through to us that day, we more or less try to pay that death benefit out that same day. The same with the welfare grants that we do. I don't administer welfare. I just obviously pay out, but it's a very quick turnaround that we do try to get that money to our members or them the members' families, and it's something I think POA, for the more so the welfare fund,
Mm.
is something that POA should be really proud of. It's a really good benefit that our members have.
If I was to ask you to perhaps name 3 things that are the best bits of your job, the things that you like most out of all the range of things that you do, what would they be?
I like helping people. I do enjoy what I do. I'm admin support for pensions. I'm no expert on pensions at all, but even that, I sometimes I have calls with again members that they're just quite grateful that you even are on the end of the phone and you're talking to them. Yeah, I'm proud that I work for POA. I think as a outside, they don't prison officers and those that work in POA for POA don't get the recognition, and I like to think that I do something to help that
Sure,
in
that's
some
true.
little way.
I'm absolutely sure that's true. And then a final question, and that is, if when you turned up on day one, fresh out of school, and a bit, thinking, "Wow, what have I let myself in for?" And you could meet your 16, 17-year-old self, what advice would you give to your younger
Oh, I
self?
think just go with it. It's not, it's not always been plain sailing. It's not always been great. I've done my whole life here. Everything. POA are really good. As an employer, our branch officials are really good. That they seem to value the service that we do give. Yeah, just stay with it. Just go with it.
Nicola Hubert and Steve Lewis have 50 years' service to the union between them, but they came to the POA from very different places, as they explain here.
Okay, my name's Nicola Hubert. I've been working for POA for coming up 24 years in October, and I'm secretary to Mark Fairhurst, the national chair, and Steve Gillen, general secretary.
And Steve,
Hello, my name's Steve Lewis. I'm the POA research officer and organizer. I've been working for the POA now for just over 25 years.
my goodness, so that's 50 years virtually between you, which is quite impressive. Can I ask you what attracted you first to join the union as an employee, Steve?
I'd previously been part of the first year of the TUC Organising Academy. So I was a trade union official for a number of years before that in the steel industry, before that on the North Sea. So I've been active within the trade unions for a while, and this opportunity came up and I jumped at it.
And Nicola?
I did a business studies degree, and afterwards I went to the Royal Chase Hotel, where I became management. But the NEC used to stay at the hotel because it's near to POA headquarters. And over the years, they kept asking members of the hotel reception team to come over to the POA. So, yeah, I was the last one that they asked to come over because the general secretary at the time, Brian Caton, he wanted another secretary in his office because of the volume of the work. So that's
Gosh,
why I come over.
given the roles that you both fulfil for the union, there must be a huge range of subjects and situations that kind of confront you or challenge you each week. What is an average week like in your role, Nicola?
Every week is different because I also deal with the press. I have a lot of communication with obviously HMPPS, and I also deal with the NEC agenda for our NEC, which takes place twice a month. But every day is different because obviously issues change, press changes. But yeah, no week is the same.
And for you, Steve?
A lot of report reading, writing, a lot of time on the telephone with members predominantly from the private sector, which is where I do it in the organising and the recruitment side of things. So it's just like Nicola said, every week is different, every day is different, different challenges.
I imagine the variety of the work is one of the positives about both your roles. But what are, say, the three best things about the job, Steve?
Successes. When we see members that have a success, when there be in a grievance or a disciplinary, where for me, I think personally, I see the membership rising in certain establishments and areas. That's always makes me smile and feel good about the job I do because everyone needs to be a trade union member, in my opinion. And the more we have in, the better.
And Nicola, best things about your job?
I think it's the people that I work for, the people that I work with, and dealing with the members because, they are what we are here for. And, when they ring you up or send you an email, yeah, I like to help people. But yeah, mine is about people mainly. Yeah, and having that interaction with people.
And if you look back over the 25 years, just about that each of you have committed to the union, when you look back, is there any particular event or achievement that you look back and you think, that made me feel proud to do the job that I do? Nicola?
Yeah, the 29th of August
Oh, yeah.
2007 was the best day of my working career when the POA went out on national strike. It was a fantastic day. We didn't know. We walked into the office. We didn't realise that Brian and Colin at the time had called them, but oh no, it was a fantastic day. It brought everybody together. It was a busy day, but no, that was the best working day of, yeah, being at POA.
And Steve, I imagine that was a bit of a highlight for you as well.
It was a very early start, but it was, yes. I think with myself, it's been the expansion really for our membership across the private sector. The steady progress of getting recognition agreements as the years have gone on in an ever wider sphere, particularly in immigration recently. I think the employers have seen the POA not as necessarily an obstacle anymore. We can be part of a solution for employers. The one thing I think is important from the support staff point of view is it's all a team effort. I don't think the national executive or the full-time officers could operate the way they do, and the leadership of the union could operate the way it does without the support staff in the background doing what we do, whether it be membership, legal, the various departments across the union all help to deliver for the membership.
It has been nice to watch Mark as a branch official go through the ranks, and Steve, because I've watched Steve in from finance officer to vice chair. So even that we've watched the people that we work for, we've watched them progress through POA, and Yeah, they do a fantastic job on behalf of the members and for us staff. They do. The members should be proud of them because they do champion that cause every day.
So final question then to both of you. If you could meet yourself as you were 25 years ago, what advice would you give your younger self? Steve?
Slow down. Everything doesn't happen at once. Things take time.
And Nicola?
I would say take each day as it comes because you don't know what is around the corner.
Continuing the theme of long service and high levels of expertise, Helen Whitaker completes our look behind the scenes of the POA.
I'm Secretary to Assistant General Secretary Andy Baxter, Secretary to the National Committee for Mental Health Care Services and Health and Safety, and also I deal with the Gatelodge magazine, communications and social media.
And how long have you worked for the union?
33 years this October.
My goodness, my goodness. So what are the best things about your job? What are the things that you particularly enjoy?
I like that there's a variety of work. What I enjoy the most and gives me the most satisfaction is probably the Gatelodge magazine and seeing the final version because a lot of hard work goes into producing it and putting it together.
And I suppose that can be quite a challenge sometimes because you're dependent on people producing the copy, the material that no doubt they've promised, but sometimes
Yes.
perhaps forget.
Yeah, and it takes a lot of chasing and a lot of work involved in putting it together, but very rewarding. Started as a clerical assistant. I've always dealt with the special hospitals for the whole time that I've been here. The Gatelodge communications is something I've been doing more recently. It's not something I've always done. I mainly did secretarial work before for the NEC.
Goodness, the mental health hospitals, covering it for that period of time, you must have a phenomenal range of knowledge on that particular area.
Yeah, and seen obviously a lot of changes over the years within the healthcare system.
And when you look back over those 33 years, Helen, are there particular things that you look back on and you think, yeah, that was a job done well, or that was an particularly exciting moment?
I think with regards to the special hospitals, again, we've been campaigning for over 20 years to get a full seat with voting rights on the NHS Staff Council, which we finally achieved in October last year. It's taken probably 25 years to get that full seat. So that's a big achievement.
But persistence rewarded.
Yeah.
And then last question, if I may, which is if you could kind of go back in time, as it were, and meet yourself 33 years ago, as you were starting in your first day at the POA, what would your advice be to your younger self?
Probably to be more confident in my abilities and to believe in myself because I was very, very shy and very quiet when I joined at 17. So be more confident and believe in myself a bit more.
I'm sure you'll want to join me in thanking Angela, Paula, Nicola, and Steve and Helen, not just for their insights into how the union works, but also their many years of loyal and dedicated service. You can find out more about any of the issues discussed in this episode by visiting poauk.org.uk, where there is also all the information about how to join the union, should you not already be a member. Thank you for listening. We hope you have enjoyed what you have heard and will join us for the next episode of the POA podcast. Thank you and goodbye.